Somewhere beneath the Egyptian desert, the dead are still speaking. Their voices are not words. They are stones, tunnels, sealed coffins, symbols carved by hands that turned to dust 4,000 years ago. And no matter how many archaeologists dig, no matter how many tombs they crack open, Saqqara refuses to give up all of its secrets. This is the story of the most mysterious ancient site you've probably never fully heard about. A place that predates Giza, a place that hides more underground than it shows above ground. A place where every answer buried in the sand comes with a darker question. This is Saqqara. If you love hidden history and ancient mysteries, subscribe now and hit the bell so you never miss a hidden story like this one. Most people, when they think of ancient Egypt, think of one thing: the Great Pyramid of Giza. Towering, perfect, magnificent. But before Giza, there was Saqqara. Located just 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo, on the western edge of the ancient capital Memphis, Saqqara served as Egypt's primary necropolis, its city of the dead, for over 3,000 years. 3,000 years. Pharaohs came and went, dynasties rose and collapsed, empires were built and forgotten. And through all of it, Saqqara endured. Kings were buried there, priests, nobles, scribes, sacred animals, entire civilizations layered on top of one another, like pages in a book no one was ever meant to read. The name Saqqara itself may trace back to Sokar, the ancient Egyptian god of the dead. A fitting name for the place that holds more mummies, more tombs, and more mysteries than almost anywhere else on earth. But the story doesn't truly begin with a god. It begins with a man so brilliant that the ancient Egyptians eventually worshipped him as a god themselves. The year is approximately 2650 BC. Egypt is ruled by Pharaoh Djoser, second king of the third dynasty. And Djoser has a problem. How do you build a tomb worthy of a god king when no one has ever done it before? The answer comes in the form of a single man, Imhotep, architect, physician, high priest, scribe. Imhotep was, in every sense of the word, a genius born millennia before his time. He was the first named architect in all of recorded history. And what he built at Saqqara would change the world forever. Until Imhotep, Egyptian tombs were mastabas, flat rectangular structures made of mud brick, solid, simple, uninspiring. Imhotep's idea was radical. What if you stacked mastabas on top of one another, smaller and smaller as they rose, until they pointed toward the sky? The result was the Step Pyramid of Djoser. 6 massive limestone tiers, 60 meters high, built entirely of stone, a material never used on this scale before in human history. It wasn't just a tomb, it was a declaration, a statement to every civilization on earth: we are Egypt, and we build for eternity. But here is where the story gets darker. Beneath that magnificent pyramid, something far more sinister was being constructed in the shadows. Beneath the Step Pyramid of Djoser lies a world that most people have never seen, and some archaeologists believe should never have been entered at all. A vast underground labyrinth, stretching over 5 kilometers of tunnels, shafts, chambers, and corridors, carved directly into the bedrock. 5 kilometers, underground, in the dark. Some tunnels are barely wide enough for a single person to squeeze through. Others open into cavernous chambers with no clear purpose. No mummies, no artifacts, no explanation. Archaeologists have found rooms lined with brilliant blue faience tiles, the earliest example of architectural tile work ever discovered. But they've also found rooms that appear deliberately sealed, deliberately hidden, as if something was being protected or contained. And then there are the shafts. Surrounding the pyramid, massive vertical shafts plunge more than 30 meters straight down into the earth. At the bottom of some, stone sarcophagi, but not all of them. Some shafts go down to nothing but sealed stone doors that no one has opened yet. What's behind those doors? Nobody knows. Because here is the terrifying truth about Saqqara. After more than 2 centuries of archaeological work, experts believe less than 30% of the site has been fully excavated. 70% still buried, still waiting. What exactly are we waiting to find? This story is just getting started. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We cover hidden histories that the world forgets. In the year 2020, as the world was consumed by a pandemic, something extraordinary was quietly happening beneath the sands of Saqqara. Egyptian archaeologists, working in the northern part of the site, began pulling object after object from a deep burial shaft. First, one coffin, then another, then another. By the time they finished counting, they had uncovered more than 100 perfectly sealed wooden coffins, untouched, unmoved, for 2,500 years. The paint was still vibrant, red, blue, gold, hieroglyphs so crisp they looked freshly carved. And inside each coffin, a mummified human being, preserved against all logic across 25 centuries. But what made archaeologists stop cold wasn't just the number, it was who these people were. Not kings, not pharaohs. Ordinary people. Priests, scribes, craftsmen, people who by all accounts should have been given simple burials and forgotten by history. Why were they buried with such extraordinary care? Why in sealed shafts, deep within Saqqara, the most sacred ground in all of Egypt? Why were they gathered here, together, as if being hidden, or protected, or kept? The questions don't end there. Among the coffins, archaeologists also found funerary masks, shabtis, small servant figurines meant to work for the dead in the afterlife, and sealed canopic jars still containing human organs. Everything perfectly preserved, everything exactly where someone placed it. 2,500 years ago. It was one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 21st century. And it happened in a place we already thought we understood. But Saqqara wasn't done. Deep beneath a different section of Saqqara lies a place unlike anything else on Earth. A catacomb, stretching for kilometers, lined floor to ceiling with mummified animals. Cats by the thousands, ibises, sacred birds of the god Thoth, bundled in linen, stacked in rows, crocodiles, dogs, baboons, even bulls. Millions of animal mummies discovered at Saqqara. Millions. The ancient Egyptians believed certain animals were physical manifestations of their gods. A cat was not just a cat, it might carry the spirit of Bastet. A bull might channel the power of Apis. And by mummifying these creatures and placing them at Saqqara, worshippers believed they were sending messages directly to the gods. But some Egyptologists aren't so sure that's the full story. Because the sheer scale of these animal mummies suggests something else. An industry. Organized, massive, intentional. X-ray analysis of some mummies has shown something disturbing. The animals were not always old. Many were young. Some were killed specifically to be mummified. Bred in captivity near the temples. Sacrificed in enormous numbers. Was this devotion or something darker? A ritual economy built on death. And if millions of animals were brought here to appease the gods, what were the ancient Egyptians so desperately afraid of? What were they praying for protection from? And then, there is the strangest mystery of all. Scattered throughout Saqqara's tombs are inscriptions that don't fit, symbols and markings that don't match any known official records, artifacts that seem displaced in time, belonging to the wrong dynasty, the wrong era, the wrong people entirely. Some carvings appear to reference rituals that have no equivalent anywhere in Egyptian literature. No papyrus explains them. No temple inscription describes them. They are simply there, silent, unexplained. Certain tombs contain texts that seem to blend Egyptian mythology with ideas that don't belong in this period. Ideas that some researchers have quietly described as anomalous, extraordinary, unexplained. Were these the records of a forgotten cult? A secret order operating within the priesthood? Or are we simply missing context? The key to a lock we haven't found yet. One thing is certain. Whoever carved these symbols did not want them to be easily understood. They were placed deep in tombs, hidden behind false walls, covered by later construction. Someone went to great lengths to make sure these secrets stayed buried. And for thousands of years, they succeeded. Today, Saqqara is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Archaeologists from around the world work there every year. New technologies, ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR scanning, chemical analysis are being used to peer below the sand without even digging. And every single year, they find something new. New tombs, new shafts, new coffins, new questions. In 2021, a team discovered a completely intact ancient workshop, a place where mummies were prepared for burial. The chemicals, the tools, the linens, undisturbed. In 2022, further mummies were uncovered alongside texts that scholars are still working to fully translate. And as of today, the deeper excavations continue. Quietly, steadily, relentlessly. Saqqara is not just an ancient cemetery. It is the longest continuous burial ground in human history. A place where civilization after civilization chose to lay its dead, because they believed something sacred lived in this sand. Something powerful enough to carry the human soul into the next world. What did they know that we've forgotten? What did they hear in this silence that we no longer can? Because the truth is, we do not fully understand Saqqara. Not yet. Perhaps not ever. There are tunnels beneath the desert that no modern human has entered. There are sealed chambers that have not seen light in 4,000 years. There are symbols on ancient walls that no living scholar can read. And deep beneath it all, the dead wait. Patient, silent, certain that their secrets are safe. So the next time someone tells you Egypt has given up all its secrets, ask them about Saqqara. Ask them about the sealed doors no one has opened. Ask them about the symbols no one can read. Ask them about the 70% still buried beneath your feet. And then, ask yourself, what else might be better left buried? Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, disturbed you, or made you see ancient Egypt differently, that's exactly what we're here for. We tell the hidden stories, the ones history books gloss over, the ones buried beneath the headlines, the ones the ancient world desperately wanted you to forget. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell. New hidden stories drop every week. Don't miss what comes next. And if you want to go deeper into ancient Egypt's most forbidden mysteries, the next video is already waiting for you. Stay curious, stay questioning, and remember, the past is never fully past. It's just waiting to be found.